we are the president for the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, SLAJ. We are Ahmed Nasrallah there this morning for can talk about how the media been cover the June 24 elections and also waiting at some of the things them where the media also as SLAJ them fell out from the whole coverage where the media been give to the election. Yeah, so. And once more I want to welcome the president, Ahmed Nasrallah. I just want to say His Excellency.
His Excellency.
And indeed, you know, the president for SLAJ. Good morning again. Welcome to the program once more.
Thank you very much.
Well, the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, SLAJ, then being founded on the 5th of June, 1971, and primarily the role now for promote freedom of expression and of the press, and also for seek the welfare and protection of a membership, and also for ensure say them find training and capacity building opportunity them for member them na the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, and this na the umbrella body of all the journalists them na Sierra Leone. Well, there this morning, like I don't say, for can't tell we how the media been covered the whole June 24 election them, and also waiting and fair notes from then coverage in the. But firstly, let me just start for now before the elections. Waiting SLAJ been do ahead of the process for ensure say the membership then able for cover the elections them. Waiting have been do ahead of the time.
Thank you very much. Basically, you know, say for every elections, the media gets a very critical role for play and a very central role because everything about the elections is based on information. People then forget the correct information for make informed decisions around the elections and for make them participate and also be part of the process. And so what is SLAJ do for every election is that the fifth one we don't get, and for make sure to position ourselves in that central role and make sure to perform that kind of role they will perform for make sure we do them professionally and efficiently and ethically. And so what we do, we before the elections we come together because on these elections for the first time we work together as media stakeholders. We, the Media Reform Coordinating Group, the Independent Radio Network, and the Independent Media Commission, and also the Right to Access Information Commission. I will be to go around and try for get the donors them for support for programs them for train journalists them across the country on various issues them before the elections, preparing for the elections. And so being successful for get one or two donors that will support we and for do training across the country. So what we do, we as election the council about 2 or 3 months before the elections, the INC will get some regulations that will then pass in the parliament in relation to print and electronic media and also on elections coverage. And so the one that is very important for the journalists and the one before the elections. And so the IMC will go around and popularize those documents, and we now as SLAJ go around again and make sure say we train journalists across the country for make sure say they understand their rules and regulations as well as the elections coverage regulations. Number one. We also train them on the conflict sensitive reporting so that journalists then go be in a position for make sure say what they put out continue for heightening the tension and cause division and also contribute to the toxic politics we'll get. And so that one will be visually for that. Let them use their platforms, use the experience and use the expertise for make sure say they minimize the kind of tension and try to see how they will bring stability and peace during the elections. And we also train them journalists across the country on gender-sensitive reporting because we'll be also one for make sure say the woman candidate that would they contest by these elections. We support them as media, let them be represented in the media, we profile them, and make sure they will give them the platform for them also express their policies, them and agenda where they get for kind of power. And we also do training on the disinformation and misinformation because we understand now a very concern for we, and not only for you, but everybody would take part by the elections, the issue of disinformation and misinformation and hate speech around the election. So apart from establishing the fact-checking centers that we'll get, I'll come to that later, we also make sure that every journalist get fair knowledge about how for help for counter disinformation, how they also will help for contribute to make sure people can get access to credible information. So we do that across the country as well. And we get now, based on the studies that we get across the country before the elections on the information landscape, we find out, say, the manipulation of content online and offline is largely responsible for so many unrest that we get in this country in the last 2-3 years. And so we take and say for this election, then it will be the battleground for the politics we go for play. And so we take a lot, we approach the journalists back and the support we follow. We establish the I-Verify platform under UNDP, together with the IRN, the BBC Media Action, Sierra Leone. Now we did part of that program. So we established a fact-checking center we call the iVerify platform. There are now a team of fact-checkers them and coordinators them who based on SLAJ, who then duty enough for make sure say any information will come out around the elections. We'll get issue, we'll get problematic content. Then fact-check them, then verify them, and then post on the website, the iVerify website, and the dedicated Facebook page, on the iVerify Facebook page, and people will get access to them, and also journalists will get access to them, publishing stories, and the platform also interactive. Not just they put information there for you, for let you get them. You also can go there and go verify your claim. I get this video, I get this image, I get this story. It's not true when I help member. Then they respond to you within a reasonable time and get back to you and say, this is correct, this is misleading, this is false, or this is true. And beyond that, they also do voter education, not just a fact check, but also they put out information about the elections, about the ECSN activities and how the election get for time and they do it. Then we get the other aspect of our own, the NDI, National Democratic Institute Super Newsroom, where they also comprise of fact checkers then based here in Freetown and also based in the northern, in the regional headquarters towns, so we get offices there. In the north, in McKinney, in the south, in Bow, in the east, in Kenema, and in the northwest, in Puloko. So they also do the same work, fact check, the social media monitoring, and check out content they will, and they say, they undermine the credibility of the elections and put out there, let people get access to credible information. And because we know, say, people, not all man on social media, not all man they access internet, and not all man get the opportunity for use and get smartphone. So we know, say, from the studies that we do, we know, say, the bulk of the Australian population rely on radio for get the information. And so that's where the independent radio network platform come in. We have a platform of about 40 to 50 radio stations who during the elections, all they collapse into one and give out information to the public, factual information to the public, correct information to the public about the elections. So the IM platform, they compile all the stories that we don't know for the week and broadcast them in the language of the communities that we people don't understand, on a Creole, and broadcast them. So that's how we do for the fact-checking with the colleague. And on the eve of the elections, because we know for these elections, one of the priorities that we put, and for make sure that we ensure the safety and security of the journalists. And we make sure that when we meet with the observers, them, the back hotel, they will say, we want for the first time in the history of elections now, while in a report, we want to prioritize the issue of safety and security of journalism. So we get a meeting and we also try for because we will do that as well. We go around on the eve of the elections on a Friday, the 23rd. We go around the major media houses that we want to say get involved in covering the elections on the day of the elections. Ukanaya 98.1. We talk to Una about the need for ensure impartiality, professionalism, and also ensure safety during the elections. We also go AYB media. We go to Media One. We also go to Tumac Radio, Justice Radio, and Citizen Radio, and also admonish them for make sure say during the elections they perform the role effectively and efficiently without taking any sides and bring information to the people then. And so we also tell them say on the night of before the elections we put out the safety and security guidelines to help them for cover the elections the following day. And we put it out and we put contact numbers then. But if any journalist involved in any incidents, these are the numbers you should call and tell we so that we document them and follow up and try to address them. So basically this is now what we do in terms of preparing journalism for the elections so that we cover the elections in a professional way.
We come back to you for engage you more on your assessment of the inter-electioneering process and the role the media play. Continue for stay with we inside the program. Ahmed Nasrallah, President for SLAJ. The program Good Morning Salon where they come to you from 98.1 FM, 8 o'clock now the time. We go for a short break.
Guru, kabitolo mi me kleni Erika yi. Abo itabele ni yen. Hey, de kebele ba dogbo bo ti ya. Guru momo, ibu ni.
Kaba, comment tense mangane suenga.
Wan mu no te so yagba. Iti de kwada mo ro bank. Am bank ayeti makidi count of be de me to kone.
Ko bank nga? Ko ma ko yodi nga?
Asi alone commercial bank, apo ba tirete, that to 40k ke. Salatate, apo Caribbean retirement account. Hey, de be de kone what you go get million retirement account. Alternative pay, all the pay to back. It's a benen kalatara bakira mune.
Siteng, a party tenga molomien. And the benga makitamgo, daba kisodam deyen, satie, sasko kanti a million retirement account. Can I be to good stamp ba?
Come on, Billy Caddy, a million retirement account. I need a little making kankala so fonyi o ankaso ni elion ewul kemekire kankala so kuru atibiri baramu moloma 10% kankala mu maybe we no wear the kala ankare nko butoi
clear metas neba apa bote
asalo commercial bank na betting am yoyin hey atibiri so much checkbook atibiri so a VIP card baby moon atibiri boat elion kemekin kankala so fonyi hey como fino so betas wonya
itula mamu in get set about it ashete wa pa yan boti tila about swellings or about malane
wa ngodi karibi kebe pong atibili tori smooth salata ankala mu to iye takare ka accountable sabone fu he asalo commercial bank atibili so to asalo commercial bank visa card atibili so to asalo commercial bank mobile app atibili ba fere tago kare emasi nga matela ATM card to fasu so be to the run
mina se be so ki check down kan na weti dimshi mina so ko ne kan kitamu kedan
ina le gbomu no ti dire ntara ti pa ita ke be ne kala tani ne am your retirement account kare it's up to ne ke ba mpanti mi darenye mbato ID card mu ana sit card mu card ke document em tori do mu no ye passport picture mu ne ko ba te ba ya te be ma ba ke ye ma ke ba pili card mu am your retirement account
ye me ke me yagba e kai be tu koto ne yi mina so ye man nkepa ye ibeneta na mi ka am your retirement account
am your retirement account maybe we want to work time for yourself amoy to work to we know to work to the office so tata mu penta account ye maskone wan ka masko kandi account ye me your retirement account
investment banking and money transfer ATM 7 now we bank the taking gas na SSC.
All right, welcome back from the break. The program is still listening to na Tuesday edition of Good Morning Salon. And the time from the studio clock, now 3 minutes after 8 o'clock, we come back to Ahmed Nasrallah, the president for the Salon Association of Journalists, SLAJ. We don't talk about waiting the media been do ahead of the elections for ensure then prepare the membership for cover the June 24 elections. Well, after we don't say that, this election to plenty people will be a critical one. Although the constitution give everybody rights, me and you have been votes in the election, everybody gets also a been vote. But the issue of impartiality and professionalism, like you be make mention, now one thing where plenty people be concerned about how the media be ensure say impartiality and professionalism them maintain throughout the coverage of the elections, despite the fact say everybody being gets right for go votes. Also I want for votes.
From we monitoring of the elections, the day of the elections, then the polling day, we assessment now that generally the media do very well in terms of the performance. For ensure say them bring the news to the public in a professional and impartial way, and they've done the cut across the board from the south to the east and the north and northwest and also the western rural and urban area, because we follow and we executive there in the regional areas also we been there for monitor the media and see how they perform during the elections. And so 98.1 AYV the IRN platform, everybody being involved in the elections, and we go beyond that as well. For instance, we also respond to some of the challenges that the people have been talking, because that safety and security guidelines we put out and contact the WOGI for the journalists. We find out say the public also been used and contacted them for reach out to we for tell we say the station here will not begin voting till now. It's almost about 3 o'clock. The material is not carried, and with the relating they must send it to the ECSL for address them and call them back and say the ECSL they come for address them. And so basically we perform very good, although there are 1 or 2, 3 concerns them. But if you compare the past 4 elections, them we don't take part. This is one where we recommend all the journalists them who involved in covering the elections across the country.
So still on the issue of professionalism, how SLAJ they ensure then membership, especially for example, people when are members of SLAJ can want for be press attaches, or some of them are already press attaches them, or somebody they expect political appointments, but also they practice as a journalist. Also, una can manage for let them draw the line, say, in as much as you get political interest, but also professionalism counts when it comes on journalism.
Yes, that's another issue we get, and we now stop any journalist not for support a political party or support a candidate or get an appointment for serving government. They're not we they appoint them, government they appoint them, and they also get for serve the country. But we make it clear before the elections and tell them say, as long as you don't identify with a political party, you don't identify publicly with a political candidate, we'd expect say you for make sure say when you practice professionally. and make sure say your audience, when they follow you, they know say you're on the side. So that what they get from you, they're not going to be surprised, say, what they put out now from you bias point of view support. We make it clear to them, and we also make it clear to them, say, if you continue to be biased and impartial because you don't take all of the sides, then you lost your integrity and they lost trust from the people that will follow you and the audience them. But we make it clear also in terms of safety and security, you get a responsibility for go into the elections as a journalist, not as a politician. Because if you go as a politician, then you stand the risk of getting attacks from political supporters. So make that very clear. But that the issue of politics and journalism, we're not going to control over them. Now everybody right for supporting a political party or support a candidate. And no matter if you support them, as long as you get a threat or they intimidate you by the work you do, as long as you work as a journalist, we got right for protect you and we got right for stand by you because you are first and foremost a journalist. But we then just say we appeal to them. We know say you support this political party, you will support this candidate, but make sure say whatever you put out is professional. Not use the platform for partial propaganda and false news and fake news and for inside people. Then.
This issue of where my colleague just mentioned of these press attaché journalists expected to be appointed press attaches after the election, somehow, according to the public opinion, perhaps now one of the issues that really affect the performance of some journalists then in terms of impartiality. And people they think say perhaps the Salon Association of Journalists, SLAJ, and government can work them out. The appointment on press attaché is not based on political appointment, but rather on professionalism and also based on experience that they feel. SLAJ in any way they think in that direction, they for reduce the thinking of the public towards the media practitioners them because perhaps someone press attaché job.
Well, no get one thing clear for us. And during the elections, no press attaché no report on the elections. The one that will report on the election are journalists that would work for media houses then. The press attaché them abuse you with supporting a political party and social media. Look at the clear for us. No press attaché not involved in reporting on the elections. We say, when a press attaché I can at this police center for report on the elections. They can write down opinion pieces them and put out. You have to unite the audience for believer or not believer. And we don't have to involve in the aspects of appointing press attaché. They're purely a political matter. What we don't find out over the years, not tonight start. It don't start from the last 15 to 20 years. We find out say the politics will get Nasrallah, not politics of compensation. Once you know a political party or a candidate, then you get some people who will support you help you come to power. Where you come to power, you find obligated for compensate them. That's where the issue of press attaché come in. Before now, it used to be through the Ministry of Information and Communications that they appoint information press attaché them for going to the embassies then. But that changed over time because of the politics. And so we don't have to involve in that aspect and for then consult me for appoint people for serving in government. No, we don't have to go that far. But we can say as long as you're a professional journalist, member of SLAJ, they appoint you for serve as press attaché, perform your work professionally, and make sure say you able for separate that line between politics and your profession as well.
All right, continue for the weeks. We the program. That's the president for the Salon Association of Journalists SLAJ. We Ahmed Nasrallah in the studio this morning. They talk about how the media been covered the June 24 elections.